So news just coming out about a age ago, going down to Jacksonville. Is this kind of a necessary step for him to just, if nothing else, get in games?
Yeah, Nads has done a really good job. He came and had to kind of increase the daily habits and the work ethic and the fitness and how to practice and all those things. That he's young. I talked to him like if he was a college player instead of a junior player, he'd be a junior in college tearing it up right now, and everybody would be thrilled about it. But sometimes the guys that play junior, they have to turn pro very young, and it's a hard league to play in as a 20-year-old. And he was making some really good progress. He had a couple real good games, and then he had the high ankle sprain. High ankle sprains are one of the worst injuries you can have as a hockey player. And it's been tough coming back out of that. And now our numbers, that was also at a time where we were pretty decimated with injuries, and he was going to get a 10, 15 game run of 15 minutes a night playing in the top three lines. And so now we have a deeper number of forwards. And he's coming back off that injury, and he needs to play games. And we had a good meeting with him. We really like him. He's a very smart hockey player. He's a great kid, and he just needs to go play games right now. And he's going to be back here. When that is, TBD. But he's going to be a really good player in this league. But at this point, he just needs to play hockey games.
I'm sure you love coaching, but those conversations probably have to be the worst part about the job. When you talk to a guy and have to set them down. I don't know how much you can get in terms of insight there, but how do you kind of, I guess, massage those conversations?
By not massaging them. I think that's the best way to massage them is to be honest. That's always been my theory in coaching. I don't play mind games with players. The only times guys are usually dislike me is if I'm being honest with them and they don't like what they're hearing, for whether they're out of the lineup for certain reasons or whatever that is. So I think you just be honest. The situation is what it is. We have 15, 16 forwards right now. We're healthy. He's coming off the injury. He needs to play, and he knows that. And it's no different than why it's good for Jacob Bryson to be here with us right now. Jacob Bryson's been in the NHL most of the last 3 years, but it's better for him to be in the American League right now because he's playing 20 to 22 minutes a night. Same in Nads. Nads is going to be a really good American League player, but right now the best thing for him is to be in the East Coast League playing minutes.
And then an injury update on a couple of guys. I think Ralph still classifies as week to week, right? It sounds like you were more optimistic on the other side of the new year. Is there an update on Netza? Has he moved day to day?
Netza's day to day. That was his first practice with the team yesterday, like first full practice, coming out of holiday break, and he's had rehab skates and he's had morning skates and stuff. But so he's very close. Could even be in tomorrow. Prow is looking well. Like we like how he's looking for next week.
And then just the results of late, and I feel like we talked about this after a lot of games. This team on paper is getting losses, but you on the ice are seeing development, right? That they're playing the right way?
Yeah, for the most part. I feel the best about our team right now from a team defensive play standpoint as I have all year. And until you get your team defense in order, the rest is just masking problems, right? So we were scoring our way out of problems early in the season. I think some of that was early in the season, it's easier to score. Teams are less structured. Teams are less organized. I think some of the goalies we played early in the season weren't at the elite American League caliber as we've played in the last 10. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into that. Now it gets to this point of the season and games become way more often 3-2, 4-3, 2-1. We weren't capable of winning those games 5 weeks ago. Now we are. Now the difference is now how to win those games. Our team defense has improved a ton. The offense is still there. It's just a little dormant lately. We need to score more dirty goals now because this time of year, especially when you play, we've had a steady diet of heavy, older defensive teams. The Providence, Wilkes, Springfield, Hartford, Hershey now, Syracuse. That's been most of our games of late. And they're old teams. They're not young prospect-oriented teams. They're older, heavier teams with elite American League goalies that are NHL caliber goalies. The only way you get to 4 against those teams is you got to get 2 or 3 dirty ones, because they're not going to give you 4 line rush goals. They're just not. And so we need to pay a little higher price offensively right now.
Can you talk about, I guess, both sides of shooting the puck? Because it feels like the last week to week and a half, the shot suppression has been really good, and you guys are also getting a lot more pucks on goal. Is that by design?
Well, shot suppression, yeah. I think that we certainly needed to start limiting the number of quality chances against. And I think in the last 7 or 8 games, we've done a really good job of that. In terms of shots for, it's a balance. I believe in shooting, especially from the point, with traffic, because I think shooting creates chaos. And then when you get your opponent in chaos, you have the opportunity to then take advantage of things. But I also believe in not just shooting to shoot. We're a team that we want to find, taking a shot from the top of the circle with no traffic is really not a great play. If you can find another play that challenges the opponent or challenges the opponent's goalie, that is higher likelihood of resulting in a scoring chance, a goal, a rebound, right? So there's a balance to that. We work on both, but I do believe, and we need more point shots and traffic to start with. Then we get our opponent in chaos, and then we can find some of the nicer plays to take advantage of the chaos.
Do you have a plan to go tonight?
Cooley will play tonight.
And then I guess the last couple of things is this a date, the whole proverbial circle a date on your calendar? I think hockey's so day to day, and you try to forget the game you just played and focus on the next one. But I think for a lot of the guys in that locker room, yourself included, you remember the last time you played these guys.
Yeah, you certainly do. But I hadn't thought about it until Wednesday at 11:30 at night, right? That's the first time I thought about Hershey. But now that it's here, they ended our season in a great series. Watching clips, we showed pre-scout this morning, and we showed some of the things from the playoff series last year. Mason Yopst was saying to me after the meeting, how it was fun to see that. There's 10,000 people in the crowd, and the level of play on both teams is just so high. And it gets exciting. It reminds you of how much fun it is to earn the right to be in those big moments. Obviously, it wasn't fun to lose, but how much fun it is to earn the right to play in May and June, and how much work it takes to get to that spot.
Can you talk about, the present day team? I feel like it's probably a lot easier to quantify their strengths because it looks like they have so few weaknesses. Yeah,
they don't really have any weaknesses. They're the best team in the American League right now. They've got a great coaching staff, number one. Nelly's a phenomenal coach, and their assistants are awesome. Really good staff, and then they have a really good roster, right? They have a lot of veterans that are elite AHL experience, high-end AHL producing players. They have a good balance on their team. They have a big, physical, mean decor with a first 3 lines of forwards that are really talented, then a fourth line forward group that is mean and heavy and nasty to play against. So they pose many different challenges. One of the best defensive teams in the league, and one of the best special teams groups in the league as well.